following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The Available opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, Poland people. We're just doing this to the Poland in our MLO Bros.
Yeah, just
website.
share it to everything Poland here. We hit the at everyone because we feel like this podcast is relates to everyone and affects everyone in Poland tonight. So,
And if you are watching, not to interrupt you, Isaac, sorry. If you could share this on your page. So we got 60 people watching. Listen, hit share because we got to get this word out
to everybody in Poland.
And it's not about a yes or no, but it is about a yes or no. But we want to get as much information as possible out there because the goal of this for me and for Isaac and for the SUPE, and we have Stephanie here too, is to try and cut through some of the, and I hate using this word, these words, fake news, because there's it's already starting on some of those Facebook pages and Facebook groups of just fake crap flowing out of people's mouths, and it's just super, super annoying. And I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying not to be myself, and I'm trying to just keep my mouth shut, SUPE, and be a professional. But it's very, very hard. So please share this because the only way people are going to cut through the crap that some of these people that are diehard, no, and they're going to just send out false information and make up stuff intentionally or not, is if they hear it from the people who are making these decisions and are throwing the stuff out, which is why we're doing this. And we're probably going to do it again before November, I would assume. Exactly. So
yep.
That's the only way it's going to work. So please share. SUPE.
Yes.
Hi.
How are you? Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Where the hell did you come from?
I know, but I love that he said us.
Hey, pull that mic closer. She literally comes in. So I saw a quick story. So last week I said, hey, why don't you come on with SUPE? Okay. See her today. I'm walking in Bourbon Park. I see her. I'm like, you coming? Oh, no, I'm gonna just send you some notes. And then all of a sudden, she just whirl in. Here she is.
You know, I'm happy. You decided.
This is Stephanie, by the way. In case you've been on the show before.
I have.
You have.
Yes, I have.
Poland resident and pillar of the community. So you know her.
Yes, of course.
Well, actually, we've briefly met a few times, but we've actually never had a formal one-on-one conversation about anything.
No.
And can I just, before we even get started, can I just say something?
Yes.
I just want to thank you for the increase. Look, it's on my notes.
Yeah.
Increased transparency and communication, and because of you, we are a more engaged community.
I agree with that
in a positive way, and I'm very much looking forward to this conversation.
Listen to that, SUPE.
How's that?
That's true too. I've since SUPE showed up, there's definitely been an increase in communication on all fronts.
Right. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. So how do you want to do? There's a lot of information for you guys, for those of you tuning in here. How do you want to do this, SUPE?
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you guys for having us on, and all the folks that are listening tonight. I want to make this very clear. I have a fantastic board that has a big task in front of them. They're putting on an historic bond for the school district, and we don't want this to divide the community.
Yeah.
I want to bring people together. So whatever, at the end of the day, regardless of what happens here, my goal is to make sure that every person that in Poland that goes to the ballot at least has the right information. I'm not allowed to advocate for a yes vote.
Yeah.
But my work that I have to do is I have to inform people. So when you go into the ballot box, you know what you're voting.
So you're not allowed to say rah, vote yes, vote yes, vote yes.
No,
you're not allowed to do that.
They used to be able to, but the Attorney General came out with, obviously I'm going to tell the facts. I might get a little passionate. I live here in Poland, so I have a big, strong opinion, but the board and I, all the administrators, we're going to stay. Our goal is to get the facts out, and you make your own decision on how you want to vote.
I like that rule, though.
That's a great rule.
Yeah.
Because the problem, and I already saw it again on a couple Facebook posts. It's like people are already pushing out crap. And it's just
hoping it sticks. Yeah.
and it's just so annoying. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't like it at all. And it's just that's why I wanted to do this.
Yes.
So all right.
Appreciate
And
that.
so okay, you're gonna spit out the information. So
Right. So let's talk first about this process. So when I got to Poland, we spent a whole lot of time talking about the things that we really needed to do better with. One of them was communication, transparency. How do we tell the Poland story? Because if we don't tell it, someone else is going to tell it, and they don't always tell it the way we want to tell it. So at the end of the year, at the end of my very first year, after engaging with everybody and talking to everybody, we came up with all these things we wanted to fix. So the board asked me in a retreat, what were the good? What was the bad? What are some things you look forward to? And one of the things that kept coming up, every conversation went back to our facilities. Poland's in the top 18% of the highest achieving school districts in the state of Ohio, which puts us very high in the nation as well. We got incredible homes. We got incredible people that are passionate about Poland. We got, a great village, a great township. We're the sixth safest city in the United States. And one of the things I said that I think we're better than this is our facilities don't match that.
okay.
All right. So they asked me to go out and try to get some information. Let us know what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So from that day, that was in April of last year.
Okay.
We started in June. We did 166 visits in people's homes throughout all of Poland. And we asked them. And then as a result of having conversations about new buildings versus old versus renovated versus currently what we have, they directed us to what they wanted and what we felt would potentially be a possibility to bring to the board. So then in February, after the 11-month journey, the facilities journey, we went back to the board and said, obviously there's 17,000 people that live in Poland. We only reached a little under 3,000.
Yeah.
But we were in their homes. We listened to people, and they gave us a starting point, and that's where we are. So does that make sense?
Sure does.
Yeah.
How when you say 17,000 people, how is there estimates on how many people will vote?
Well, let me back up. There's
Yeah.
17,000 souls in Poland Township.
Souls,
But
right?
they don't all vote. There's
How many
there's several
voted?
thousand that are kids that are under the
Okay,
age of
okay,
18.
right. Yeah.
There's
I immediately think voters, right? Like right now I'm in
I see what
voter
you're saying,
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it's 11,000 taxpayers
that would
about them.
make
No.
about sense.
Hey, you're here. You got a microphone. Talk.
No, I think it's about 11,000 taxpayers.
Yeah.
So through that process, before we took it out to the Board of Education or to the public, we had 57 possible combinations.
I remember that. Remember that stack?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Dr.
remember that.
Donopoulos had literally hand done 57 possible combinations. We verified it. We're like, yep, there's 57.
Wow.
So we obviously can't take 57 out. So we took, when the board meeting was over, our team got together and said, this is a possibility, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It can't work. Too expensive. We started taking them off. We got it down to 12. All right.
Yep.
So then 12 still a lot to take out to the community. It's hard to get people to agree on 3 things, let alone 12.
Right.
So when we got to 12, though, we couldn't take anything off because we're like, man, I don't know. What's it cost? Is it more expensive? So we contracted out with a company called GPD. GPD came in and they said, this is a great start, but these 4 won't work. These 2 won't work. This is way too expensive for the taxpayers, and you're not allowed to do this.
Okay.
You can't do this. So then we got down to 4. And once we got to 4,
Right.
we said, okay, let's take our
I
show on the
remember
road.
those.
I have
Yep.
those. Hold on
Yep.
here. Right there, right?
Yep, that's it. So what's interesting about the 4 was,
Oh, the orange
Number
one's crossed
4.
off now too.
yeah.
Option 3 is crossed off.
Option 3's gone too.
Yeah. So what happened is we went out and we just presented the options to everybody. So for example, let's talk about option 4, right? Option 4 was a renovation of every facility that we have and to reopen all of them.
Okay.
Because we felt like the the Poland Historic Society, the people that have been here forever, that's something that they would like. Interestingly enough, after about 100 sessions, it became a complete distraction. The cost on option 4 to renovate Union, renovate North, renovate.
Are we talking a complete gut?
Complete gut and renovation.
Yeah.
It was expensive. And then the operating costs was extremely high. So we had to hire more principals, hire more staff.
Because all the different buildings.
And all the people, a pattern started to emerge. It became a distraction.
Yeah.
It wasn't popular.
Gone.
We got it off. So then we were down to 3 options. Okay. So what we found, option 1 and option 2 were a blend of renovation and new.
Okay. So
the people of Poland that we met with, almost 3,000 people, had said, why would we renovate? And this is not my words.
Yeah.
These are what the people said. Why would we renovate at 28, 29 million when we could have a brand new building at 33 million or 34 million?
Right.
So what we kept hearing everywhere we went is, why renovate when we can get brand new? All right. And disclaimer here, our buildings are not bad. They're just aging.
Yeah.
They're very well built buildings. And I'm not bringing people in and showing them a bucket hanging from the ceiling.
Like Canfield.
We're not doing that.
Yeah. Like Canfield.
You know,
Right.
The taxpayers give us money every year to upkeep our buildings.
Yeah.
And we're upkeeping them, but it's becoming very expensive now.
Well,
So-
when you say that too, one of the things I've heard is it like, well, why are you fixing up?
Yep.
You got signs. You guys put the signs up. You're doing the paint. Oh yeah, the big things they look awesome.
Landscaping
The
and
landscaping,
Yeah.
like all that stuff's going to get bulldozed possibly. Like, is that a waste of money or?
Could some people could look at it like that, and that's a great question. Okay, but let me tell you guys something, and I believe that people from Poland believe this. We can't put a contingency on Poland pride.
Yeah.
So if a sign's broken, we got to fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
We got to fix it. I mean, we're Poland.
Yeah. You got
know,
to. Yeah.
If something's fixed, if something's broken, I can't wait 18 months to fix it. And a lot of the stuff like signage and things like we'll salvage those. We'll keep those.
Yeah.
But we're not going to let the weeds grow high because we don't want to mow them because we might tear the school.
Yeah.
There are some things that we're doing that are pretty big though. Like if you've ever been to the seminary parking lot right now, the holes are horrible. It's $400,000 to repave. We are holding
$400,000 to repave it.
the right way, not seal it.
Exactly.
Everything.
Right.
And then restripe it.
Right.
So we're not going to spend $400,000 right now. We're trying to hold off and kind of put a
You're not doing
Band-Aid.
big jobs
Yes.
until
we got a $500,000 roof on the seminary that we have to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that right now until we see what the taxpayers tell us in November.
Can I something totally unrelated to that? The new banners on the football field on both sides look freaking sweet, and the one facing the school, because it always looks so trashy.
Yes.
Have you seen those?
Yeah, they're sweet.
Dude, that's
Good stuff.
sorry.
You posted them.
Yeah,
too.
totally
But
unrelated
it
to the
totally
topic.
speaks to what he was speaking about earlier about Poland pride. Why are
Yes.
we waiting? We're
Yes.
waiting to have it. We have it
Beth
now.
Bodine
Right.
told me last night, and I said, man,
Yeah.
I loved it because she was like, why do we have to wait for a levy to pass to fix up and show off our Poland pride?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
That's a good call.
And the other thing too is we have stairwells that are not in good shape at McKinley. I can't wait till November.
Right,
Wait
it's
for a kid
dangerous.
falls down.
Yeah.
So
I know a certain teacher who has windows that leak when it rains.
yes,
That's non-specific
we
teacher.
can't
Not going to throw out a name or anything like that, but
Very funny, right?
yeah, I'm just throwing out a
We
name.
could just sort of defer from those kinds of things. That would be great.
But I know a teacher whose windows leak.
So options 1 and 2
Okay.
was a merge between new and renovate, and the taxpayers kind of led us to, and this was not a science,
Okay.
a perfect science, but they led us to a path that was less people liked renovation than like new. So what we said was let's merge options 1 and 2 together.
Okay.
And let's do 3 brand new schools.
Is that that? So is
Yeah.
that this one?
Yeah, it's option blue. We'll talk about that in a
Option
minute.
blue. Okay.
Yep. So we merged 1 and 2.
All
We
right.
eliminated 4. So let's talk about 3. 3 was very polarizing. It was a K-12 campus in the township.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. It was actually cheaper. It was very, very efficient. And the people that chose option 3, it was good. I mean, it was a good, and a lot
We're
of
the
people
people
are doing
that lived in the township.
mostly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct.
Indeed.
Great
That
pattern.
makes
sense.
Yep.
Makes total sense.
However, this was this when we're polling, so we have to be aware of this. So we found out that there are 160-year-old least restrictions on
You were talking about that
the
earlier.
deeds.
Mhm.
Wait, 160-year-old.
Yeah, some of them were as old as one was 160 years old, and basically there was a gentleman by the name of B.F. Lee, who was one of the founders of Poland.
Freaking BF
Lee Run
on
Road,
Lee
Lee
Street, Lee Run
Drive.
Road.
Lee Run Road.
Hello. Yeah.
So he gave the Poland school district the original seminary, and said you can have it under 3 conditions. 1, you have to carry the name seminary for all time's sake. So that's why Poland Seminary you see everywhere.
That makes sense.
Wow.
I did not know that.
See?
That's really cool.
2,
Wow.
it always had to remain an educational institution. And 3, the restriction was if it didn't, it went back to the ancestors.
Oh, no shit.
So
So wait, so if you didn't have a
That's
middle
what they
school
did with
there,
their money
they
back
we
in the
don't
day.
have a school on that
It goes back to
location. It goes
family.
back to the family.
holy crap.
That is a
Yeah.
that is a
So-
G move by that guy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you don't use it how I want you to,
Yeah.
then it goes back to my family. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's
really
actually
cool.
also what I believe the Butlers did with the forest. If
Yeah.
I'm correct, it's something
Yeah.
along
Poland
those
Woods.
lines. Yeah, any type
Really?
of additional
No.
improvements that they would make. My point
There
is
goes
back-
your water slide idea. There goes your lazy river ride in the
I
forest.
have to tell you, that's a huge
That's
little
a big-
nugget.
That's a big deal, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they know that before?
We did not know that. So
Holy
we're on the trail, right?
Nice
That's
job.
We talked to a couple
Nice
people to
job.
figure it out, and then I got my director of operations at Mahoning County, where all the deeds are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's in an envelope, or it's in a plastic bag, all
Yeah.
old and
100.
yeah.
So you're stuck with seminary, basically. You
So-
have to.
so
you
wait,
have to
so-
keep it.
So this was the interesting thing, though. So the K-12 campus was the most polarizing. Some people absolutely loved it, and some people hated it.
Yeah.
So stay with me. So if you got a polarizing thing on the ballot, this is a big deal, right? So what was interesting was the people in the township, all the places we went in the township, they preferred the K-12, but they were okay
That's how I am.
with
I would agree with that.
the 3
Other
other options.
Okay.
So, but if you're a person that lived in Poland your whole life and have always been here, they really, really like the 3-school model.
Yeah.
One in the north end.
We could have
one in the
saved you. We could have
village.
saved you a
A lot of
bunch of
time.
times. Yeah, we could have
Right.
saved you a
But
lot
it
of
is,
time.
it's,
with that
so-
one
it is
was.
those community schools. But
Yes.
I truly believe that the way
Yeah.
Poland is set up
Yes.
is to support that. Our footprint,
Yeah.
our physical footprint is not that of Springfield, is not that of South Range.
Right.
And it's interesting because
That
when
is
you
true.
look at some of the models that they've presented, it really does support where things occur in your lifetime of having a family. And you have a family when you're young, right?
Yeah.
You have,
Yeah.
for the most
Yeah, I
part,
agree.
right? When you want to stay in a community.
Yeah.
So I think what I guess what I'm saying is like it makes sense.
We have given people a hard time in the different areas of Poland,
Yeah.
like over north. We've given them hard time
Yeah.
because of them holding on to that area over there.
Sure.
But when you really break it down and you really honestly think about it, you buy a house over there because of the playground, because of the school, because of that, and we
Right.
give them grief about it, but it's true. So I could see why. And now me being from the township and living in the township, I don't give a crap where the schools are as long as we get decent schools.
Right.
Right.
It makes sense. You know what I mean?
But yeah.
And I
yeah.
think a majority of people would agree with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
In the township, I don't think people.
I don't know. I really don't. I think they just want to see something done.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where we are now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
All right.
But it
Sorry,
makes
Sue.
sense that it would be easier to convince the people in the township of, hey, we have a better shot of getting this.
Well, that's
passed.
because that's how it is now.
If you guys are willing to make this move and understand that it's,
But you're not making a move because that's how it is now.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's no adjustment for me because
Yes.
I'm already bringing Ben down in the village.
But it's
you know what I
easier
mean?
to convince you than
because it's
somebody
already
on the
that way.
north side who would
To
have
change.
to go all the way.
It's
Yes.
easier to keep me doing the same thing I'm doing now versus
It's
change
easier
that
to
part of
sell.
town.
Yes.
But you know what, guys? I will say this. I think you have to consider that in 2005, I believe, is that when they put the connector in?
I believe so. That
Right.
sounds about
So
right.
that was 2005.
Wow.
And 2015-16 is when they were starting that initiative to make that move for the K through 12. You got to keep me on my dates now here.
Yeah, I'm
This is
gonna,
this is pre soup too. So
This is all pre-soup. No,
Yeah.
but I think it's important to know this is why having a vision and planning is important.
yeah.
Because why would we have spent all that money in 2005 to
10
put
years later, it's
10 years later to
That makes sense.
and it would be fine if they said we're going to turn this into that. But this is exactly why we have planning. There's a vision. I think it's important to stay, there's stages to these things. And I think that in Poland, because they've never had stages to
Yeah.
those improvements, it's always been, we're doing this, we're doing
Yeah.
this. There's not really been a plan to explain that to
Right.
the
no
taxpayers,
matter
whether you
what-
would gain that support that they're like,
Right.
oh, this is
Yeah.
phase 2. We agreed to this,
and,
right?
And no
That's-
matter what happens, the people will not be able to say, "Oh, they just dropped it in our laps and
Yeah.
said,
Right.
hey, vote for this." No,
Right.
you have done a
Yeah.
great job communicating, giving multiple options, getting feedback, polling the community. That is what needs to happen
Right.
in order to have the best shot.
So what was interesting was so now options 1 and option 2 are merged, and we can't without a quieting a deed, which costs a lot of money and a lot of time. And I'll be honest with you, there were people, BF Lee's relatives, that are aware of that. So we knew we were gonna have to
insane.
They're
so
like,
Could you imagine if you? I know, but if
I
you
mean,
say
that's
sell it, but
primetime
who's
real
gonna get
estate.
it?
that's prime time real estate.
Right.
Like
down there.
BF Lee's great grandson's like, I'm gonna turn that place into a fun factory.
he's like just sitting quietly. Oh, you noticed that? I was hoping you guys were just gonna go somewhere else.
I'm gonna turn that place into a bar.
So we
That's
took
amazing.
But your research, to be honest with you, has just would have saved us like 7,
Oh,
8
could you
years of
imagine?
planning. Like
Oh
what I'm
my
saying is
God.
it's so helpful.
Oh
And
my
this is the part
God.
about the transparency that we were speaking of, because without that, the K through 12 really was never an option, a viable
Come-
option to
yeah,
begin
Come,
with. I
come
guess
on
is one
down
of
to
the-
BF
Right.
Strip Club.
No, but I mean, these two. But do you understand what I'm saying?
I
like
do.
that's
I
a
totally do.
really important
They would have
piece.
had the
That was
breaking
a big
ground
piece.
ceremony at the new
These
township.
two.
At the
These
new
two.
township
Yeah.
school, and BF Lee would have walked in and been like, "Woo!"
Sorry.
But my point being that it's this type of transparency that people are really looking for, because you've had people who have lived here forever, their whole life, and never always believed that people were doing the right thing without these two.
Right.
Oh, it's gonna
Are
be
they on
So-
their own
Dude, that's
podcast? I'd
prime.
like some more
So
information.
then,
Sorry.
Could you
so
stick with
then if 1 and 2 are merged, 3 is not an option and 4 is not an option, right?
Yep.
So now we're left with 1. So we presented to the Board of Education in February a brand new K5 at North.
K5 at North.
Okay, brand new.
Is this option blue? Can we look at this
Yep,
one now?
You can look at
All
it
right.
now.
K.
K5 at North.
Yep.
North gets knocked down.
North
All
gets
right.
knocked down and rebuilt. It'll be a very large facility, K5, adequate parking. It's the board saw this as the queen piece on the chessboard.
Mhm.
Very, very flat. We had a lot of land that we owned. We actually purchased some additional lots behind it as well. Huge opportunity for playground, plenty of space, adequate parking in a walkable neighborhood and everything. So K5 would be in the north end. We pick up a lot of people that are very interested in having a school there again and revitalize that part. The second phase was a 6th, 7th, and 8th. We heard the community loud and clear. There needs to be a presence down there in the village, which obviously we want to do that. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade would be in a brand new facility
6, 7,
at in the village, and we would tear down McKinley, keep the connector. It's a beautiful place. Keep the connector and build a brand new 6th, 7th, and 8th. The renditions are on our website.
Okay.
So you can take a look at that. They fit. That's what our pre-bond people at GPD did. They made sure that it fit. Adequate parking, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. You got to remember that hundreds of parents now pick kids up. So in our current model with over 1,000 kids down there, it's very challenging because that was never designed. That's why we're using playground.
Yeah,
that's why we're using everything. So, I mean, it was literally built in the times of horse and buggy. So it's very challenging.
So it would be the connector, and then that towards the track, that hole would be scrapped, and then a new school would be built.
And a brand new school would be built right on College Street, almost identical to the way it looks now. So a lot of people are thinking it's not. It's going to be enhanced completely. Everything's going to be updated. We're going to save a lot of the relics, all of that.
That's important.
And blend that in there. People will go through there now. It'll look better than it looks now. We've seen even enhanced renditions. So then the third phase of that is a 9-12 seminary, grades 9 through 12 at the campus. Now, the other thing that's really important that the taxpayers and especially the current families know, one of the reasons the board liked this, as well as administration and the teachers and everybody, we don't have to swing kids around. So we'll build K-5 at North. Everybody will stay put. When it's done, K-5 will move in. Follow me? 9 through 12, all right, at the current seminary site at the high school site, it is going to be built further towards the back.
Okay.
So the kids will stay there at the seminary for the 18 months that it takes to build it. When they're finished, they'll move into the brand new building, and the old one will be torn down.
Demolished then. Okay.
So sometimes in these facilities master plans, you're moving kids
that makes
for
sense.
18 months to another school.
So it's almost going to like we're closer to the township building.
Yes.
There, right?
No. It's going to be
the back corner.
It's like taking a quarter turn.
Yes. It's sitting like this. It's going to go back by the football field.
Oh, the practice field.
Yes. Practice fields back there.
Gotcha.
And then the tennis courts are going to be moved to the front.
Gotcha.
Of the school. The softball field, which we currently have, the baseball field will all remain the same. The football field will remain the same. And then we have a beautiful, and the field house stays.
Okay.
It's disconnected though. So we'll have a field house.
Oh.
And we'll also have a brand new gymnasium as well.
So the field, because you need gyms because we don't have enough
yes,
gyms.
but that's not included. So we have to disconnect it. If it's connected,
there's not enough gyms in our.
we need
none.
more.
It's freaking brutal.
And then the transportation terminal, the bus garage, moves to Dobbins.
Okay.
Right? So we pull that out.
I'm confused too. Can you explain one more time again? Just the middle school. So you have McKinley. And you have the middle school.
Yes.
McKinley sits on College Street. No,
it sits on. It doesn't have a street. Lee Street.
Lee Street.
It's in the woods.
In the woods, right? Yeah,
Right.
the wood street.
That's correct.
Right.
And then so that's McKinley, and then you have the connector, and then you have the
historic original seminary,
which is the middle school.
Which is the middle school,
Yes.
which is the other way. So you have
The one that faces college is the middle school. I'm the only one here who graduated.
by the foot.
from this
Okay.
place.
Well, I know. Well, my wife and
school.
kids are there, and I
So
get
the one
confused.
that
I know.
faces college.
Let's do it this way. Which one's closer to the football field?
That's
McKinley.
McKinley is the one closer to the football field.
Correct.
And then you have the connector, and then you have the middle school.
Correct.
Okay, so go from there. So
McKinley will be torn down.
okay, that's the closer to the football field.
Closer to
Mhm.
the football field.
Got
the old building
Yes,
that
it
faces
was built
college.
in the 60s. And
Yes.
it was built very quickly.
So it was built in the 60s. So that's actually a newer building.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's
well,
the
you
one.
think,
That's the one where the teacher that I know
Yeah.
windows are leaking. So okay,
and then they'll rebuild for grades 6, 7, and 8. So
Yeah.
now K to 6 there. So about 1,000 people are going to school there.
okay,
So now it'll just be grades 6, 7th, and 8th. They'll have their own learning community there. In a historically, they call it a reno
yeah,
new, because They are keeping a lot of portions of that building,
Okay.
but it'll be, and if you go on our website, you'll be able to
Okay.
see what
I'll
it
have to
looks
check
like.
that
Can
out.
I use the word? It's like a skeleton.
Yeah.
It's like they're keeping the skeleton of the
Yes.
old building.
Right. It
And,
was
and
the
kind of
bones.
building
Yeah.
around it all
Steph,
the new
it was
things.
the old junior high, but then they switched it around.
Actually, it was the original law school.
Yeah. Okay. That's
What-
like 1800.
what
I
is
mean, you must know
happening-
your history of,
What is
of
happening to the building that's facing the old College Street?
That
that's
will
the
be-
connector.
No, the building that's facing
The
College
oldest
Street
building.
is
Yeah.
currently holds grades 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Super old one.
Yes.
With the bell out front.
Yes. That will be the
This-
grades 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
So the
Okay.
back one's getting torn down.
Yes.
They're totally skeleton gutting.
The other one
Yes.
on
Right.
the other side of the connector.
Oh my gosh, do you need to draw you
Dude.
something?
No, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
They're gutting the old one.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Outdoor
and they-
amphitheaters, adequate parking.
That
They're
makes sense.
keeping the beautiful connector there. So the lunchroom's going to be
Yeah.
huge cathedral
Awesome.
lunchroom, beautiful. So
So I just want to be clear because I've had a lot of people ask me this question.
Yeah.
The middle school that we're speaking about that has the bell in front,
Yeah.
that will be a
Reno new.
Reno new, meaning a skeletal version, meaning
Yes.
portions of the old building will remain. The key portions of the
Yes.
old building will remain.
Yes.
And integrated with new, which
That's
by the way has been done very,
Got
very well in some communities.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that because I
Absolutely. Yeah.
really feel like
Yeah.
that.
And the
That's a
drawings
big
on
piece.
the website for all this stuff.
Yes, the drawings,
There you go.
the fit plans are on there, and the outside renditions.
Okay.
The design phase, if it passes,
Mhm.
will be made up of a huge committee of community members, teachers, and staff. We'll talk about what that looks like in the inside.
We are in concepts only. I wrote the notes.
Yes. Concepts only.
Glad
It's
we
3
pressed-
pages of notes
Thanks,
in the
Steph.
meeting.
Glad we
So
pressed Steph.
I know. So those are the 3 properties.
Okay.
Right? So now that leaves us with North, where everybody knows we're going to keep that as preschool. We're going to keep that as our.
You mean Dobbins?
Dobbins. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Dobbins. We're going to keep Dobbins as preschool, early learning, board headquarters, and transportation terminal. So we're moving the buses out of there, building a bus garage as part of it.
Are you still going to have the biggest office I've ever seen?
Yes, that's right.
The big room.
And if you
office.
do realize somebody with a big office means you have a lot more work. Just FYI.
So
Sorry, for those of you who've never seen, he's in because of the
A
way it's set up.
classroom.
He's in a classroom with this, and it's the funniest thing is this little tiny desk and this giant
Yeah.
leftover
I'm never
thing.
in there though.
I-
I'm always
you're
out.
never there.
That is true. That is
He's never
true.
in there, but the one time I walked by, I was like, "This is the biggest." He's like, and then remember he said he's going to move into a closet so we don't pick on him anymore.
Yeah.
So sorry. Go ahead. Dude.
So that's the concept. So let's talk briefly about Union. Okay. So I wish I could
Union.
tell everybody that we have a plan. We did have a plan.
I do.
Dom Marchiano had a great plan. We can't move forward with it. We have some deed restrictions right now that we found out.
Dang deed restrictions.
I know.
More old stuff.
That's why you research.
on
Yeah, wow.
Union.
Yeah.
Is
But
it Lee again, or who is this? Some
no, this was another,
It's a freaking
another
Lee, man.
family that gave us Union. There's some deed restrictions there about it being a educational facility. So we got to get a little creative.
Wow.
I got your creativity.
Yeah.
I got it. I got a
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
I got a plan.
these old people
I got the
that don't
plan.
think
I got the
thinking,
plan.
man.
smart.
Look,
I
look,
honestly
don't say
think
it
it's
out
very
loud.
smart.
Look.
Yeah.
So
I like
the deed restrictions are it has to stay educational.
It has to have an educational purpose. So we got some flexibility there. And the board wasn't ready yet
Mm-hmm.
to make a decision, which I can
Mhm,
understand
mhm.
because we don't know if the taxpayers say no, this is not what we want. We may
Might need
Union.
that.
Right.
And I'll
That
talk
makes
about that
sense.
in a second.
Yeah. Okay.
So the board actually did a really good job. It was frustrating because Dom's a great guy
Yeah.
and his plan was good. He put a lot of work into it. Him and I are going to breakfast later next week.
Yeah.
So we're going to, we need to keep Dom close because we don't know yet. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yep.
If the taxpayers pass it, then we can open up some ideas because
Right.
we'll no longer need it. But so let's talk about, so that's what we call option blue.
Okay.
All right.
Like
Now, I hate saying the number, but I'm going to say the number. All right. But because none of you and nor myself are going to pay this amount of money, it's what it costs. It costs $105 million to build.
That's where I'm supposed to
brand new
drink my
buildings.
drink and spit my drink out
Yeah.
all over the freaking
Yeah.
TV, right?
Can I just say that's a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But listen, I want to let's break this down.
It's a lot
Okay,
of
wait, hold on,
lot
hold
of
on.
curses.
So 100
And $5 million.
105 milli.
Yeah.
now where's that 126 coming from?
So the total project is 122 million.
122.
The state's given us 17 million. They're taking 17
That's
million off.
very generous of them.
Yes.
17 million. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's
Really, out of 122?
in
In
other communities they give like 60 million.
Yeah, I know.
That's
yeah.
what I'm talking
So
about.
we're at a very big disadvantage.
Appalachia State
Yeah.
back in the day they gave 100%.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Don't worry, I have notes about
But
the OS.
we're trying. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
and we're
Right.
trying to get through it.
Way to be. Yeah.
So that brings it down to $105 million. Okay. So the average home in Poland is $212,000.
Okay.
Okay. So if you own a home that's $212,000 in Poland, you will pay $830 in taxes additional
A
for
year.
3 brand new buildings a year.
So
At 212K.
That's the average home. So the majority of the people will be somewhere in that range. But-
833 divided by 12.
and that's based on your taxable value,
Yes.
what's on the auditor's
Yes.
website, right?
Yes.
As
Okay.
of, yes. 1 second, I had notes.
So 833 divided by 12. That's a $69 a month
Right.
increase if your house is 212,000.
I don't mean to be funny. He said-
$16
Yeah,
a
a d-
week
And what was
and
it? for the day?
$2.38 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like,
Okay.
all right.
Don't get
So-
a cup of coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
It literally, it's a
Now,
Starbucks.
So let's
It's a
talk
Dunkin'.
about that
It's
for 1
less than a
second.
Starbucks.
Right.
Starbucks
Yes.
cup of coffee is $4.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
So I told you what it costs, but what I can't tell you is now we have 3 brand new buildings, 3 $40 million buildings in our community. I don't know how much that's going to raise your property values. And we know it's going to have a
Yes.
positive impact.
Come on, look in
Yes.
your crystal ball.
So that's what we're at a disadvantage. Everybody's
Right.
talking about, oh my gosh, it's going to raise my taxes. And they're not wrong by saying that. But what I don't know is it going to raise your property values? So you're going to be living in a community that's the 6th safest community in the state of Ohio, 18th ranked in academics, and you're going to have brand new facilities. So you guys tell me, as realtors and knowing realtors and working in mortgage and loans, is this a good sell or not? I don't know. It's up.
Schools, and I've been saying this since day one, schools are the first thing anybody asks for when you're moving for a house.
Yeah.
Schools.
Mhm.
Schools. I mean, and that's it. I don't care what anybody says. That is what they look for. Schools.
Yep.
Why don't schools and safety?
Yep.
That's it.
It's interesting because it's literally like there's so many different moving pieces and parts. Like, really, there are so many different moving pieces and parts in terms of the academics and why they set it up the way they did, right? And how to support that. But as what he's saying is, even if you had a K through 12, you're still never going to have one principal,
Yep.
right? I mean, you're still going to need supports there
Yeah.
for students, for staff. So
So we know Canfield. We've been watching Canfield very close, and we wish them the very best of luck. We want them to have good facilities as well. Kids deserve that. But so they're building 2 buildings and renovating the high school with the exact same price as us. Now, I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth at all. I'm telling you, I know there's been some breaking news out there about $33 million potentially going off that. So if that passes through the Senate, that would be the first time in Ohio state history that a representative got $33 million before the taxpayers
Yeah.
got that.
Wow.
So we think that that's part of a consortium like they're trying to pass. So I got a meeting with Senator Ruley,
There
who's
you
a
go.
who's a Poland grad,
Yeah.
and Mrs. McNally, a representative, to let them
Lauren.
know.
Yep.
So I'll tell you right now, if there's a possibility that we can get more money off, we will do that.
Awesome.
I promise you that.
do you need me to go talk to somebody?
Yeah, I think we got Mr. Ruley called me and said, listen,
Let's,
it's more than meets the eye there.
yeah.
You know, and I know he's a supporter. If he can get $33 million
He
in
went to
Canfield,
Poland.
he'll get it.
Oh,
he
yeah.
graduated.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I want to assure the public, we have meetings set up with him. If there's a way we're going to knock this down, that's the plan. So now let's talk about it doesn't pass. Okay.
Plan red.
So let's talk about red. So, and I'm going to keep this very neutral. Okay. So if it doesn't pass,
Is this on this is plan right here?
Yep. Option red.
Option red.
So we have to, I'll keep this kind of simple. This has been 11 months in planning, and I'm going to bring it all into 5 minutes.
Option
Okay.
red.
So McKinley's out of space, everybody. We have to do some construction this summer just to abate the overloads. So we have 560 kids inside of McKinley right now. And each year for the past 3 years, the enrollment continues to increase. Now, I'm not saying that our enrollment's going to get back up to 2,500. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, we're at almost 1,800 now. And every single year for the past 3 years, we're averaging about 25 to 26 more kids a year.
So
Yeah.
enrollment is going up.
For these 3 years.
For
Now,
3
it
years.
could level off.
Yep.
I don't know, but already we enrolled 139 kindergartners. We have 5 more months till the opening day of school. We usually pick up about 25 to 30
Yeah.
in that time. So that will be our largest class.
Wow.
And
there you
think
go.
about it. Logically, it makes sense. Statistically, it makes sense because Poland has so many empty nesters that are currently going
true.
through the
He's
process
right.
of selling their
Neighbors
house
are turning over.
to people my age that are starting families. Empty nesters that we've had that for the past like 10 years are starting to move
true.
out, and people my age starting families are moving in, which is leading to more kids coming into the system. And over the next 10 years, it's just gonna keep growing.
So that is a key point. I'm going to mark that off my list of questions.
Yes.
Enrollment is it's not skyrocketing,
No,
but
we're
it's
not.
been going up.
Yep. And we're watching right now. Let's all be responsible.
Yep.
We're watching right now to see if this is just a blurb, if it's an outlier.
There's no
But
way.
the last 3 years, we've added 7 staff members in the village. Class size. Now, let's talk about another thing that's really
Yep.
important. So the average birth rate in Poland pre-COVID, so we had about 95 live births on average every year in Poland. So during the 2 COVID years,
People were bored.
we got to 192 live births.
Yeah, Poland. You
So
get
I don't
that.
know what was going on.
Yeah,
in Poland,
Poland.
but I'm just
Yeah.
telling you the facts. So
Lots
of My treasure-
Stick to the data.
Lots of
Yeah.
boredom.
I'm going to the data. You guys go wherever you
Yeah, Poland.
My treasurer told me she's presenting it again in May. So we had 192 live births, 2
Lots of-
consecutive years.
Nothing to do,
So-
man.
COVID.
So-
Sitting there looking at each other. Just long nights, long days. I get it.
So we know that the enrollment's increased, like those, at least those 2 years. So we are out of space. So if the levy fails, the bond fails, all right, then we have to abate those overloads there because we are completely out of space.
There's no room.
No. So we have the cheapest option for us if
Okay.
it does not pass is I have to move. Oh no.
Say it.
We got to move kindergarten
Oh.
out from Dobbins or from McKinley to Dobbins. 'cause
He
we
just
need
realized
to
what
free
he
up
was
7
saying.
spaces,
Okay.
7 classrooms. Now,
Ugh.
so if we move those up there, we won't have to hire anybody. We have to have a secretary, right? And we have to hire somebody to feed the kids. But we can cook the food somewhere else and
Oh my
bring the
God.
food.
What a pain in the butt that is. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have preschool and kindergarten
At
there
Dobbins.
At Dobbins.
Okay.
So there will be about 200 kids there, and we wouldn't have to do any renovations. We wouldn't have to reopen. Like we'd have to. There's a lot of work that need to be done at North, and there'd be a lot of work that needs to be done at Union to reopen. So that's the easiest. It kind of puts a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. It gives 7 empty rooms to McKinley, which means they won't be overloaded, so they can spread that out. The other issue is we would have to add 4 classrooms at the high school because 7th and 8th grade are over 33, 34 kids in a class.
Wow.
It was never designed for that. They're in a wing right now, and it wasn't designed for that. So we would have to build out.
That's way too many kids per class.
That was done before. They added a wing out there. There is space to do that. So we would have to add 4 classrooms there.
And we're just.
Do you remember when they moved the board offices out?
Yeah. Yep.
And then they moved the 7th and 8th grade in.
Yeah.
And it's and I mean,
I feel like we're
it
just
is
like
what it is, but
patching
was-
things together is all.
Well,
it
I
is,
think
right?
I think that's also part of the challenge. Like those kinds of things were never put on the ballot for people to vote
just
to make that
shifting around.
happen.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just those kinds of things, which is why having a plan that
Yeah.
people agree to, they're saying, yes, this sounds good. Now, in the event that this moves forward, in the event that the ballot issue passes, would the 7th and 8th grade, would that save us at all? Because with the like I don't want to get ahead of myself, but where are you going to start first? Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to move the 7th and 8th grade there and then move them back down, which I understand, but it might save us something.
It could,
right?
but
if we go with option red,
right. If we go
Then
with
it's not-
option
okay.
red, then the only way to reduce class sizes at high school is you have to add. Remember, there's 4 core subjects. So you got science, social studies, math, and reading, language arts. So we have to add 4 places. We don't have 4 rooms.
Wow.
So we have to add 4 classrooms out. So there's a cost associated with that. Now, the other thing that's not desirable, but it has to happen is then we need to move the central offices and the board headquarters. We'd have to use union.
Huh.
So that's why we haven't committed fully to, because we need to, if you move 150 kindergarten kids plus 75 preschool, there's no room for the board headquarters there, and you have to have somewhere to meet. So that's the plan. Now, will we make it work? Yes, we'll make it work. And the taxpayers are going to decide if that's what they want. Now, the only fear of that is that's the cheapest. Okay.
That is the cheapest by doing it that way.
That's the cheapest way. The least expensive way to do it.
Correct.
But it's not going to last. And I'll tell you why.
Right.
So what's going to happen?
Can I ask, do you know what the prices of that? I'm just curious.
I can tell you this is, I know that we have to spend $20.6 million within 4 years at option red. We're holding off on some projects that we have to do. And I think under our facilities master plan, it's about $20.6 million over 4 to 5 years plan. Now, you got to remember, every single year, we spend about $2.9 million on average to fix up our aging facilities. So that will continue.
Right.
We will have opened another facility. We'll have added construction. We're going to obviously have to add staff. So
because you're opening up other buildings.
Yes. And we have construction. We have to pull that money from somewhere. We're going to be adding teachers, adding staff. Now, if that happens, it won't be but 2, maybe 3 years. We'll have to go for an operating levy because we're going to keep pulling from our reserves, and eventually we'll run out, and then we got to do an operating levy.
And then we get into the whole thing of, okay, now we're going to be paying for sports. We're going to be paying for all the, if we don't.
So that's what you guys have to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Now, the other option is to open north. Okay.
Is it north a mess?
It is. So we would have to put about $2.9 million just to operate it, and then to get it up to speed. And then we would have to open or add additional staff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to get us on the ballot even faster. We're going to go into deficit spending and eventually have to go on an operating levy. And then the other option we looked at was reopening Union as well. And that was cheaper to open, but way more expensive to run over time because it's such an old facility. So that option puts us on the ballot for operating dollars, not a bond, operating money. Those don't go over well either in Poland. So all of those options put us on the ballot just quicker. Now, this is not a plug. This is just a fact.
Yeah.
The day all 3 buildings are built, the district automatically goes into a surplus of cash. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because we're no longer
Spending
money on
2.9.
roofs, collapsed stairwells, bad pipes, reflooring buildings, millions of dollars in boilers, air conditioning, heating, cooling, green, all the money that you save. So we automatically are not transferring that money. There are maintenance involved. That's built into the bond. So that's already built in.
Can we say, I have a question. We'll throw, I got a questions. This one might be a little bit longer than an hour tonight, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So,
I just might have to go to the restroom. I've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
This is why
I have a bunch of
vision.
questions.
This is why having a vision of what's going to happen and planning.
Yeah.
And awareness this is why it's so important because
and we have almost 100
for exactly
people
what he
watching.
said, the option red, they both have pros and cons.
Yeah.
And the challenge one thing that we can't factor in is that, we do have people who live on fixed incomes.
Yeah.
But I think that I guess I have questions about some other things. So my biggest question.
Can we start firing questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Am I allowed to go first?
Go ahead.
You're going to go
you
first
sure?
anyway. So
Let's
I don't
be
even
honest.
know
Let's be
why
honest.
you're asking
Okay.
me if you're going to go first or not.
I just because I was trying to be polite.
It's fine.
I was trying.
Yes,
I
Steph,
attempted.
absolutely go first.
All right. So my question is the blue option set?
Yes, great question. So the board.
What did you think I was doing?
You're speaking over here.
So Stephanie asked a great question. I was supposed to
Is the
say
blue-
that. My director of operations says, make sure you say that. So the Board of Education has directed the treasurer and the superintendent of school to move forward with option blue.
No changing it, no turning back. That's it.
So we're not going out
That's it.
anymore and saying, hey, what do you think?
Mhm.
We feel like we eventually you got to make a decision. So they've made a decision that and in May, we're anticipating in May, they have to do a formal vote to place it on the ballot. Only a Board of Education can do that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
The reason I ask is that from my concerns about if people vote no because of the dollar, right? If they're scared about the dollar, would the board be willing to even consider?
Yes.
You have any idea
I
how
know
much
what you're
trouble I'm going to get into right now?
No,
Dude,
you're
no,
fine.
right.
You're fine.
Like,
People are thinking this stuff.
Yeah.
Steph.
to really hold off maybe on the high school for this very moment, just until we can really get that K-8 built, because I guess I see, as you were saying earlier, like once people are in a district, then they're vested, right?
Yes.
Like then you've got those people in
Yes.
there, and I.
So this is another great question.
Yeah.
See.
Because
And the answer
quote,
is yes.
because quote, the high school's not that old at 51 years old.
Yeah.
Is what.
Right.
So a couple things here real quick. So the question is, can we segment this out?
Mhm.
And the answer is absolutely yes. So if we vote and let's say it passes, then great. We get 3 new buildings or whatever. Let's say it's close. Like Salem was close. Salem they were 50 or 45. It was very, very close.
Oh, man.
They were within 10%
Yeah.
of the vote. So what they're going to do and what we would do is we would go back and say, Stephanie, what do you think? Why did this fail? Oh, it's too expensive. So then we would say, okay, well, let's segment it out. Let's ask the public, do you want to build a K-5 at North or do you want to
There
build a
you
high
go.
school? Now, the
Okay.
caution I want to tell the community is it's very difficult to go to a brand new school,
Yeah.
K-5, K-6, and then go to a 70-year-old high school.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we might want to look at that as going the other way. we keep going like we're going, and then you end up in a brand new building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might want to look at that. And so that's just something to think about. But that's a great question. So the board can decide after the polls, look at the data, and I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to say, Hockenberry, go tell us why people voted no. So I'm going to have to go meet with you and say, what do you think happened? Well, I think it was too expensive. And then we would have to look at the plan. Now, I'm going to stay optimistic and say, let's go for it all and see what happens. And then we can make adjustments as we go. Canfield has been the study we've been watching. It got destroyed at the polls. They have a plan in place. They've been pivoting, and they're putting it on again. They're putting the full thing on again.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of see what happens. But that's a really good question.
My concern about waiting. Here's my concern about waiting. Prices have gone up. When did they try last time? 2015? Didn't 2016?
It's almost
15,
doubled.
16.
It's almost doubled.
Yeah.
If you keep putting this crap off, or you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, what are they going to be for a high school? You're going to end up paying who knows what.
I'm just going to say a couple of things.
Sure.
Just some thoughts.
Go, boy.
The reason I asked that is because if it's the number that scares people who are on fixed incomes with nowhere else to go, it doesn't matter what the time, how long it's.
You're going to get hard.
You're
going to get hard nosed no matter what.
Yeah.
At any point, you're going to get hard nosed.
I guess what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe, sometimes, in the famous words of Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want. You get what you need. For the very moment, that's something that I would just hate to have us go through this again and not get that where we need to be.
Bo said it was 28 million in 2000.
I know, but they had but that was a
But
whole different.
I believe, and Bo will correct me if I'm wrong, that was a K-8 on Dobbins,
right,
and a renovated high school.
Okay, that's a totally different monster.
He'll correct me because
Yes.
I'm guessing it was a K-8 on Dobbins
and a renovation on.
But what about Lee?
Taking everything away from the village.
But what about Lee?
Man. That's what killed that.
Yes.
They took it away from North. The North people were rioting in the streets.
Remember that? You remember? Oh, they were.
So can I want you to just. So my question in saying that with a modified reno is that could we do other things such as modifying a field house, creating a new auditorium? Like, I guess I was saying for the high school not to get anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Could in that terms of phasing, because I know most people might not think this is a popular or whatever come out of my mouth, but I do think that athletics do bring opportunities for the school to engage in some economic growth and development in terms of opportunities to bring tournaments here.
Sure.
Or, some of the music, all the kids go somewhere else where they host these competitions. So I hate to see these other pieces get eliminated.
So the question is, could we still fix up certain areas of the school district if it doesn't? The answer is yes, but it all has to be locally funded. So right now, this whole project that we're doing, we're getting $17 million from the state of Ohio if the taxpayers say go. If we don't pass it, and if we want to enhance an auditorium or do something, that all has to be locally funded. So that money comes out of permanent improvement. So the best way to explain permanent improvement to everybody is if you were to pick up a school building and shake it,
that's coming out of
everything that doesn't fall out is a permanent improvement.
Right.
Everything that falls out is not.
I have another thing that I've seen too. Again, just watching these classes go through. So you have these bigger classes coming in, and again, 25, 30 people, but these class sizes are growing.
Yes.
Those are going to go through the schools.
Yes.
You're going to be forced to get new teachers as they go through, correct?
Yes. We had to add 7 teachers since I've arrived in 2 years.
And as those continue to go through, so that class of 150 or whatever this one's going to be, as it goes through, you're going to have to add classrooms, teachers. That's crazy. That could cause havoc too, right?
Doing it. So we added another teacher at 4th, another teacher at 5th.
And you're adding teachers
Yeah,
at
the
kindergarten. Yeah,
citrus,
that's
yeah, so-
wow. Okay. Wow. I'm just thinking about like that
Yeah.
could cause. How do you plan? That's crazy trying to
So
plan
we've been
for that.
going, yeah,
Holy
it's
crap.
difficult.
So I'm gonna ask this question. If we don't go with the OSFC money, OFC, Ohio Facilities Commission, right? If we don't take that 17 million, is there any cost benefit to the community?
No, if we don't take the money from the state of Ohio, it's $122 million. So by taking the 7 and it fit everything that we wanted. They
Right.
agreed to all of our historic standards
Mhm.
and everything. But hey, I drank 3 bottles of water.
There you
Go
go.
to the
Good.
restroom.
Good.
Yeah, you keep talking.
No, you're good.
Keep talking.
No,
But
she'll keep
Bo just
talking.
put up. I don't want to drag that all up. Just pointing out the fact. No, I got you, Bo. I
No,
got
Bo,
you.
and that's
we've,
tough.
We've
and
tried.
that's tough coming from Bo Weaver, who is in Northside. So
Yeah.
you had
Yeah.
Bo. Imagine making that decision. You had Bo as a board member trying to get this school built, and you had all the Northsiders that were revolting against him, his own people, because he lives on the North Side.
He does. Yeah.
But
That's
you guys see my point. Like if it means you don't get anything because they did this high school piece, and the only reason I say that is a lot of these kids are either taking classes at a university or there's also MCCTC.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm saying is it's
how much. I wonder how much the high
Yeah,
school
Bo,
is.
North-
How
North
much of the
baby.
126 is the high school? That would be my question. Is it 26 or is it 50? Is it 100? I mean,
but can you see why that would matter? Because if
Yeah.
you brought that 122 or the 105 down
To
to let's
80.
say
Yeah.
75, right?
Yeah.
But how do you think that would change?
yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it would garner more support from the people
But the problem is
who are going
you
to
would-
vote for it? It's not whether or not you like it, it's the taxpayers. It's
The-
not just the people.
the problem is so here's the way I break this down with these voters. The people who are saying, "Oh, the high school this, the high school that." 85% of the people who are saying that are going to be no matter what.
no matter
I
what. you do.
disagree.
Ah,
I disagree.
truly
I
don't
think
so.
I think people want to support the schools. I mean, why would they
no.
live in
Some of
Poland?
those assholes, excuse my mouth.
No.
It's just,
No,
it's
you
just
can't
an
do that.
excuse. It's just an excuse.
They
want-
some
they
of these
wanna push it
people
off. They,
they-
want to push it off as far
there
as
are
possible
people on
because-
Steph, there are people on Facebook literally saying the schools are fine. Doesn't matter. There are people on here. I have somebody on here, graduate of Poland, saying we just need to add $10 million to each school and it'll be fine. Why are we doing this? They have no idea what they're talking about.
because perhaps they obviously need to be more educated, which is why having
But they don't want to be more educated because they're going to vote no matter what, because they don't give a shit
genuinely
because their
think-
kids
I
don't live
genuinely
there.
think there's a lot of people that want to push the shit down the road 10, 20 years because
Because-
they will either be in the ground or not living in Poland.
Or
paying Poland
their
tax.
kids. I literally had people, I've argued with people saying my kids don't go there anymore. I'm not voting yes. Well, that's not fair because my kids go there. Your kids, doesn't matter. I'm not doing it.
North rules, baby.
But like
Yeah.
This
I
is so
it's-
Weaver.
if you look at it like an investment, like, hey, new schools are coming. That is such a selling point. If you were to even sell your house in 5 years, well, how long before the schools
it
are
right
built if
there.
it passes?
Yeah.
What
So
year?
because we don't have to swing kids in different spaces, we could potentially be building 3 schools at the exact same time, 18 to 24 months.
Yeah, but how long before we would do that if it passed?
So
How-
if the day it passes, if it passes in November, it's 6 months until the first
groundbreaking.
ground breaks, and then 18 months from there.
So
So
yeah.
this is not, people will see schools within 2 years. In
So it
Poland.
passes, and then you would be able to start saying, hey, in 2 years, you're moving into this community. In 2 years, you're going to have a new school. If you're my age, moving into the
People love
community,
that.
you want to buy property where your kids are going to go to a brand new school.
But as a fixed income person,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I understand that.
You just need to be very aware of what that, I
The
last thing I
effect it
want to
has
do
on a
is
fixed income.
Those fixed income people are going to vote no on a $26 million levy.
I disagree.
It
Those
doesn't- it
fixed-
I
doesn't
think people
matter.
want to support the schools. I'm going to be honest with you. I think people really do want to support the schools. I think here's what I think we all have the same goal in mind, but somehow with the expectation, you need to adjust your approach to your goal. That just, I would hope that the public would educate themselves about all these things. I have to tell
That's
you,
why
we
we're
were at the
doing this.
meeting last Wednesday. SUPE invited us. I sat there. I felt like it was the best meeting I had ever been to, that of what they had presented about the schools, about what was going on. And the interesting thing was, it wasn't just about the schools. It was about the community. It was about all the other things that are going on, because they do all have to work together. And that's where I'd like to see, if you need to move out.
So $65 a month is too much? Or
I think for some people I think for some people it may be.
Is $40 too much?
I'm not somebody else.
I think
$20 too much?
if you live in a
I think-
$212,000 house and $69 is too much a month, I think you need to come in
And that's
here.
212.
and
so
I will
I'm
go
just
over
saying,
about
where
it.
are they going to go?
What do you mean, where are they going to go?
So-
Like, if they sold their house, where would they
No,
go?
I'm not saying sell your house. Come in here and we'll help you budget at $69 a month. That's what I'll help you do in your $1,200.
I will. No, seriously, we will do that. If you need help budgeting,
I will help you
break
budget.
down your budget and tell you where you're spending, where you shouldn't be, and what.
Yeah, bring your bank statements in. We'll help you out.
And I'll tell you what, if you're a smoker and you drink too much, I'll just tell you straight to your face that you need to stop smoking, and you can afford the school.
And believe me, it's so challenging, because you don't want to say you don't want to support the schools because the dollar's too big. But
I
if
know.
you could phase it a little differently, and if you garnered more support to get in the next 2 years, how many more people would, are you going to pass it by 70%? Do you how much do you understand? Because you're not just getting the passage, you're also getting support for the next thing.
We need 51% of the votes to pass.
I don't know. We have to go find
51.
33 million.
51%.
Right now we need to find
All right,
33
we're
million.
going to play a game. We're going to play a game, Soup.
Yep.
Questions from Facebook.
Yep.
Okay. And then again, this is a long one. Sorry. What time you wake up in the morning?
Early 5
Oh, me too. Okay, here we go. Questions from Facebook. Will the price go up more after it passes? Yes or no?
Will the price go up more? No, we build in the $105 million
Yes.
is inflated to make sure that we don't ever. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is
Mhm.
it passes and we got to say, oh, we didn't budget right.
Okay.
We need $12 more million.
So
It's
it
not
won't.
going up.
Did you hear that? Facebook. It will not go up. Thank you. That was one of the questions. I'm going to write
We
that down.
built it in. We built in
Okay.
a cushion.
Somebody share that. Okay. I'm looking at the camera. High school. Does the high school truly need redone?
So it is our youngest building, our newest building,
Okay.
right? And it is 1971. What's the math there?
50.
50, 44,
Gentle.
50. How old are-
Gentle.
yeah, that's got to be around somebody's age in
Gentle.
this room, right?
Yeah, it lacks it lacks a lot of modern efficiencies
Okay.
and opportunities for collaboration and learning for kids. Will it last? Yes. Will we have to repair it? Yes. Will we have to add on to it? Yes. It was built in the 70s during the energy crisis, right? So it was
Yeah.
built very, very quickly because they had to. They had to get the product. They had to put it up very, very quickly. That's why it looks much different than the other buildings.
100%.
And most of them in the 70s during Carter and Ford, and they were out of money. They had no electricity, they had no oil. They had to build everything very, very quickly.
No
very
windows,
fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It lacks a lot of safety
anything
security.
Yeah.
So we're putting a lot of safety. So
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
I'm
Is
thinking
okay.
about
This is from Facebook. This is not me. Is the school board spending like a drunken roughneck?
we have
That is a
those-
legitimate question.
So I've been a superintendent of 4 districts.
Yes, you heard that right.
What's
I'm the
that?
superintendent. I've been the superintendent in 4 districts.
Yeah.
This is the most conservative board I've worked with.
There you go.
I get in trouble every time I
we're
spend
drunken
anything.
roughneck. There you go.
They're
Okay.
very conservative.
There you
board,
go.
All
All right.
of them.
Um,
They ask a ton of questions about money all the time.
are the school board members for this levy?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me put this right now.
Yeah.
They have their sacred opportunity to vote. And that's our democracy. So they can vote yes or they can vote no. All 5 of them, I think they want you all to decide.
Yeah.
They might all have their own opinions,
right?
but they're not going to stop you guys from voting. So I think they're going to put it out and they're going to say, you tell us what to do.
Gotcha.
So I'm not anticipating anybody not supporting it.
Is there a way to see the cost analysis of a new the plan versus maintaining? Like, is there something anywhere?
Yes. So this is a really good question. I don't know who asked that.
Yeah.
If there's any way you could direct them, we have a comprehensive Forging Bulldog Forward plan that is on the line on our website. At the facilities section. It shows the new schools and it shows option red, and it talks about what we have to do, and we prioritized it. So, for example, a new roof on the seminary.
Yeah.
We have a plan for how important that is and when it has to go and how much it costs. We have steps that we have to repair. We have heating and cooling issues. We have floors that need repaired. We have a parking lot that needs to be prepared at the seminary. All of those are listed, and we have a plan in place to fix those. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a plan.
All right. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Soup.
Yeah.
Senior citizens on a fixed income.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Okay. So let me tell you about senior citizens. So first of all, I want to know, I'm going to put this question back to him. Who's not on a fixed income?
I know I am. That's a
So
good point.
I've been in education most of my life. And for the most part, I've made, I went from teacher to superintendent.
That's a good counter to
so
that.
who's not on a fixed income? So we all make about the same. I don't know, man. There's some people that maybe work on commission. They sell
I work
more.
on
and-
commission, and mortgage interest rates are through the roof. And
Yeah.
I'm really been
But
struggling.
does it level off though?
No.
Sometimes it's
No,
really high.
it just gets worse and worse and
We're,
worse.
we're talking about doing
Yeah.
feed pics on
Yeah.
OnlyFans before you walked in here, just for the record.
Yes,
So
yep.
So
It's getting pretty bad.
so and you know what? I didn't come up with that. I had some senior citizen said, she asked me, she goes, well, aren't we all on some kind of a fixed
that's a
income?
great point.
So that's the first thing. That's kind of a fallacy. I mean, I make what I make. I get an annual increase every year. So, I don't know. Usually it's been fixed for quite some time.
I haven't had
Yeah.
an increase
Yeah.
ever.
There
As
you go.
adjunct faculty, we haven't had
There
an
you go.
increase.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Some
So
people,
that's, I guess
so
that's
that's
what I'm
fixed.
saying.
So
Well,
that's a fixed
well,
income.
I'm commissioned, so it's like
Right.
this.
Yeah,
Right.
I
up
mean,
and
I'm
down.
up and
But
down.
I bet
yeah.
if you did an average,
Oh,
it
it's
probably
average.
averages out.
I live where I want, and if I do good, I do good. If I do bad, I
So
live on
the
that.
the other thing I like to say to the seniors is, and I don't know everybody's situation, but one thing I do know is that when you reach a certain age,
Mhm.
you do get the homestead where you
Tax
pay
exemption.
less on
Yep.
property taxes.
Yep.
It might be 20. I don't know what it is. for them, but there is-
25%.
Yeah, it's less. So, and the other thing I like to say to the seniors is, and I'm going to speak, if my mom was alive, my dad was alive, and grandparents, I'm glad that they voted for our bonds and stuff so I could go to a really nice school where I grew up in a great community. And I didn't come up with the formula to fund public schools and to fund this. Neither did anybody around this table. So, I feel bad that it's going to impact. It is an investment in our kids and our community. Like I said, I'm really happy that the seniors voted to
Yeah.
redo my high school when I was growing up, and I went to a great place, and we needed their vote, and it's important to us. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you think about it too, if they move out in the next 10 years or whenever to wherever they go next, and they're not thinking long term because they're not going to be here much longer. When they do go to sell their house, they're going to make all that $65 or whatever.
They'll
it is
make
per
it
month
back because the value of their
the
house.
value of their house is going to go up.
100%.
So, I mean, I ask odd questions like, where are we at with multi-generational housing? Right? Like, how do you bring those types of opportunity? I'm just saying,
No, there
why?
isn't any.
You know how much I hate the same old routine.
Yeah.
Like it's just
There
what
is
like,
no there's limited condos, there's limited housing in our area. Is that what you're talking about?
but this may be that opportunity for the right person. If I'm correct, didn't they have something about wasn't somebody having a meeting about developing a property
Down on 220 off of 224.
yeah, they They are. They're building condos
Yeah.
off of right by the Little Red Schoolhouse.
Maybe you could have led with that.
Yeah.
That would have been.
They're building. Those are
There you go, everybody.
multi-generational
But this
houses.
is this is what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, it's not that my mom would probably kill me if I said this, but my mom lives, everybody knows my mother, who knows my mother, you know, my mom's lived in that house probably more than 50 years. Okay.
From an account.
They don't want to leave Poland.
Right.
Yep.
And I don't mean leave Poland. They don't want to leave, and I don't want to speak for my mother, but like they love living in the village. They love the location of it. So I really hope that that we have opportunities available for people to go, because like you said, it's, you know, young people want to move. I mean, houses are still being purchased in Poland.
There's
like
nowhere
that.
to buy right now. It's brutal.
Means must be doing a good job.
Yep. One more question. This is not soup. These are tough.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You said earlier the schools in the top 18%. So this guy said 20%.
Okay.
Schools are good. Education is a reflection. That is a reflection of our schools doing good. Why would we fix the schools?
Yeah, it's a fair question. That's what and I've said this everywhere I've gone. We're Poland. All right, we're gonna be good no matter what we go to school in, because we got great families, we got a great community, we got great teachers, we got great staff. We're gonna do good. So we're doing good right now in 120, 130, 140-year-old facilities. We lack a lot of technology. The way kids learn right now is so much different. We're building drones, robots, right? We're not sitting in rows anymore.
Yeah.
We got computers everywhere, Wi-Fi, internet connections, electric issues, smart boards, technology that we need to continue to grow to the next generation, right? So eventually these buildings everything costs so much more. So to answer that question is eventually we're not keeping up with everybody else. Everybody else's learning environments look way, way different.
Yeah.
And eventually it's going to just age out, be extremely expensive to fix. And it's going to drain more taxpaying dollars. And our kids are missing out on the way the newer buildings.
We're going to fall behind eventually,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the top 18% school deserve what do they deserve? They deserve the best so that they can continue to thrive.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
So there was a woman up there, I think her name was Kirsty. She asked a good question about the canvassing of Poland.
This one.
So I will tell you that I did run into somebody who lives in our community who does not have kids in the schools anymore. Right. And she said that there's like 5 or 6 people who live around her. None of their kids are in the schools anymore. And I said to her, I said, you need to call him.
Yeah.
I said,
are you still doing those? Will you still do sit downs?
We took a 3-month break and listened to what the community said and kind of developed the plans. So now we've started again, so I'm hoping that anybody
Soup's gonna be good. The world tour starts up again.
Yeah. So I have several scheduled next week, but anybody that's listening now, drop me an email, Hockenberry@polandschools.org. I'll give you 3 dates, pick one. I'll be at your house.
There you go, Christy.
With all the information you need.
What would be interesting to do would be to gather statistics on similar communities to Poland that went through a new school being built within that community and how it affected home values directly after it.
Well, there's your homework.
1 year to 5 years after.
Get on it.
Right.
And
Then
then,
get on that.
and then literally bring that to the people and be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Awesome.
Here's your numbers.
Bo Weaver, Mr. Bo says Poland has the lowest millage rates in Mahoning County. Mahoning County has one of the lowest rates in the state. There's practically nowhere else in the state where a Poland resident could find. And there we go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Who's sitting with the superintendent?
What's that?
Hi, Diane. I'm Stephanie.
We picked her up. She was like at the gas station. She followed me back.
She was good lady. She said, "Hey, can I come in?" We're like, yeah, sure.
I'm second base on the softball team.
She's some lady at the gas station who's buying a Diet Coke and she followed us over here. We're gonna lose her.
She's like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" Yeah,
this
come
is
on
Stephanie
Baltini
Hahn. She's I don't know what she is.
I'm interested about the schools.
Mr. Bodine wrote a good point there to follow up on the gentleman's question.
Oh, the safety stuff. Yeah. What about the safety stuff?
That's a big deal because the new schools, they do have a lot of enhanced safety features that we don't have in newer schools.
Yeah.
You know, schools built in many, many years ago, they wanted people to come in all hours and open up the doors and just be able to walk in. That's how they were designed. Newer schools limit the capacity for people, for strangers and intruders to come in. They make it very, very difficult.
Which is what we want.
Right. We spend a lot of money now updating. I'm not going to talk about all our safety features, but we have quite a bit of money that we've invested so people can't do that. The newer buildings have that. You kind of strengthen the perimeters, you strengthen the classrooms, and increase safety. So that's a great point.
She is very knowledgeable. I guess the hobo we picked up at the gas station is knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You know,
So smart for a hope.
She was obviously educated before she became
look,
homeless.
I have my golden bulldog. I'm like, I'm on
She's
it.
going
man.
through
I'm
a real
on it.
rough patch.
Your homework, Isaac, use Austintown as an example, before and after. All right. Well, this is Soup's got to get up. I got to get up.
Thank
Isaac's
you.
got to get
Yeah,
up.
thank you, everybody,
Steph's
for
got to
watching.
go to her
Thanks so much.
bench somewhere in the park where she sleeps.
Oh my God, where I sleep.
We
I just thank you
appreciate-
very
thank
much
you
for
all
having me
so
on.
much.
You're welcome. Isaac,
Appreciate
give
it.
us her.
Yeah, the spiel. If you haven't already, check out. We forgot to mention them at the beginning of the podcast. Check out our sponsors down below: Breger Machine and Valley Insurance Group. Breger is our sponsor of the month for May. Small machine shop that will make anything from a small fancy part to welding farm equipment for you if you need it. Valley Insurance Group, call them for all your home and auto quotes. Also, MLO Bros stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Brothers. We are loan officers. If you need to buy a house, move out of Poland when the prices go up $65 and you can't afford to live here anymore, call us.
Come on,
And
that does
we'll-
not help your cause.
Call us and we'll help you buy your new house.
We get you a
Oh
nice
my
condo.
gosh.
Nice condo somewhere away from it all.
Oh my God.
But
All right.
yeah, call us.
Next week. Real fast. Poland. Don't forget. Well, we got 60 people left. June 10th is our huge event. Soup, you ready for that?
Yes.
You gonna come? You gonna
I
be
am.
there? You gonna
Yeah,
be there?
June
this year? June 10th.
You want to sit in the dunk tank or what?
No.
I bet you they'd get a lot if I was in there.
Are we having pizza? Are we having pizza?
We got so much food. We got vendors.
It'd be a good time.
We have
Tuesday, so-
yeah, we're gonna have June 10th, Poland, movie and family fun day. It's all day. It's a Saturday because everybody wanted it on a Saturday. It's gonna be from 10 a.m. until 12. Food trucks, free bounce houses, a movie. We got a band. We're gonna have fun and games. Dunk
And
tank.
bounce houses, we don't mean like bounce houses.
They're
We
like
mean
legit.
bounce obstacle courses. Giant Velcro like blow
Yeah,
up
it's insane.
dartboards that you could kick Velcro
Um,
soccer balls at.
Oh,
Giant.
did I tell you about our Bake Me Tree thing?
What?
We're having a cupcake eating contest with Bake Me Treats.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
you might have to be in
I
on that
went
one.
to what is it? White House.
Oh, you went to White House Fruit Farm?
get
You've
some of
never been
those
there?
donuts?
my
dude?
buddy.
You've never been there yet?
My buddy's dad passed away. He was from
Oh
Poland.
no.
Lived in the
Blueberry
North
donuts.
End, and he was best man at my wedding. He
Uh-huh.
went to Poland. So he came up from Columbus to, for his,
I know where this
so
is
I
going.
went to the get
Uh-huh.
the donuts.
Yeah.
I got blueberry donuts. I got so I'm driving to
Uh-huh.
drop the donuts off, and there was 4 missing. When
Yeah.
my buddy
Those
calls
are
and says,
real
"Did
good.
you know that this was only 7 donuts in here?" I was
Yeah,
like,
only 7.
Yeah.
Only 7.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
what
happened. But yeah,
You've
those
never
were
had
good.
those before?
First time.
Oh, those
So
things are
good.
bad.
Remember John Santagata?
Yes.
His
Yes.
dad was the one that died. He was Hockenberry. There was only
Have,
7 donuts.
have you?
in this
Those
thing.
ones are good. What's the other one? The Amish.
Amish Market on
Yeah.
South
Have you
I
been
heard
there
about
yet?
that.
Oh,
Go get
soup.
some of those
Yeah, I gotta
donuts.
stop this, man.
Yeah, I live up closer to White House now. So whenever I'm
We're gonna have to
I'm
get
always
soup.
in-
We're gonna have to get soup. We're gonna have
I'll
to
start
slowly,
bringing White House
slowly
donuts for 'em.
put them on his desk.
Right.
Just a donut
Those
every.
Amish market donuts.
Those are-
things.
yeah.
Those are like
stuff.
those are your
All right.
donuts, the big fluff.
Ugh.
Everybody, Steph, thank you. By the way,
Yes,
she's not homeless.
thanks.
This is Steph, by the way.
Thank you.
We'll have.
Pillar
Thank you.
of the community.
Thank you for
Yes.
having me.
Yes.
For,
This was great.
All right,
He was probably a
everybody.
little
Again,
nervous.
if you need soup, if you have questions for soup, don't make up information. Don't listen
Call
to the
him.
lies. Call the soup.
He
Ask
wants to
yourself.
talk
Ask.
to you.
Don't
He
listen to the
wants
people in the
talk to
community who
you.
are just firing out garbage. Okay, please don't. There's information on the website. There's information. You can call him. You can email him. He's very open. Don't listen to the crap. We have to, if you guys want this to pass, we have to get out and vote, and we have to make sure that honest to God truth is getting out to the people. It's gonna be close. I just have this feeling it's gonna be close. We have to make sure the right information is getting out to the people who are on the fence. So that's it. All right. Thanks, guys. All right, bye everybody.
Awesome.
Bye. Hold on. Don't nobody say anything. Isaac, don't swear yet. Okay. Boogers. Bye.